Hi, this is Logan Garibay. Let's talk today about the brand new charity game that was just launched from the official Dungeons & Dragons channel with the official Stranger Things cast. It was a one-shot DM'd by Chris Perkins, and it was called Lost Odyssey, and it is the hardest, fastest, strongest proof that the Dungeons & Dragons game, as it stands with its current Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set, is outrageously too complex, too abstract, and the rules themselves are the largest gatekeepers the game has, right? I watched this game, it broke my heart. Tears came out of my face when I was so distraught by looking at this burning dumpster fire that is going to go out to millions and millions and millions of viewers who will think that this game is what Dungeons & Dragons is when it is not. Chris Perkins, God bless, Lord bless his soul, tried so hard, had no ability to control these celebrities, but more than anything, proved in multiple points in the adventure that Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and every single edition before it, Trust and Believe, is absolutely too complex, too abstract, too complicated for regular, normal people. And if we don't fix this in the game, we will never get this game mainstream. It will always remain nerd stuff, and it's not. It is a powerful narrative tool. Dungeons & Dragons is one of the best things America ever invented. It is pure Americana. It is pure gold. It is an intellectual godsend. It's such a beautiful, pure, wonderful cultural catalyst, Dungeons & Dragons. And it's just, we got to stop what's happening here. We need to get this fixed, right? All right, so I'll give you the proof. Okay, I need to back up these words, right? Let me give you the proof. All right. So, Chris Perkins jumps in. And he's like, okay, you're going to make you need to push that door open. Go ahead and make a strength check, right? And immediately, the question comes up, what do I roll, right? There's 6 dice there, right? And he's like, the D20, right? Now, what is that? He's like, it'll have a number of a 20. Okay, all right, most people can follow that. All right, we're good, right? So you pick up the D20 and you're going to add your strength, right? And immediately, they're like, there's 2 numbers for strength. There's 16 and there's +3. Do I add a 3 or a 16 or a 19? And you're like, good Lord, right? Why are we here? Why, right? Like, we know it because we're used to it, right? And one of the things that this has been said for a long time, that this game is not, you're not going to learn it when you read the rules. You're not going to learn it when you play with somebody. You're going to learn it by being drug over glass for multiple times. And if you stay through, then you'll know how to play it, right? It is outrageously complicated, right? Why are there 2 numbers for your strength bonus? There shouldn't be, right? It's needlessly complex, right? So you could see Chris Perkins is like, oh boy, he's gritting his teeth because he's like, oh boy, we're really in it, right? Later he says, okay, make an investigation check. He says this to Gaten Matarazzo. Gaten Matarazzo is tracking. He actually understands his skills, right? And he's like, oh, I see that, investigation goes off of wisdom. I have a +2 in wisdom, but I have a 3 in investigation. Do I add 5 or do I add 3 or I add 2, right? And the DM is like, this is what you add 3, right? Not 5, not 2, you add 3, right? But I need to tell you, right? What I'm seeing is Gaten Matarazzo was dialed in. He was hyped to play the game. He was paying attention. He could not, with one of the best DMs in the world, Chris Perkins, understand what to roll, right? It was not intuitive, right? Because of, why is it that you have an attribute bonus and you have a skill bonus, and like when you put it on the sheet, it's still not clear if it's cumulative or if it's not, right? It is needlessly complex, needlessly abstract, and what really broke my heart, right, was Gaten Matarazzo's like, I'm a super cool Hollywood star, but you know what? This ain't for me. I paid attention. I still don't know what I'm doing. I still had to have my hand held by the DM This is nerd stuff. This is not for me. I'll get through this 2 hour, thing I've been shoved into, and then I can be done with this and go on and live my life, because this is just for people who like overly complex, overly abstract games that aren't about story but really are about math, right? And just really poorly designed math problems, right? Without the operators and without it's just heartbreaking. You're like, holy crap, these people, even the people who want to play, they can't make a difficulty check from a regular sheet without being handheld by the dungeon master, right? Then third thing that I see that just made me weep in my soul. I was so frustrated and upset when I saw this. Chris Perkins realizes he's losing them. Realizes he's like, why the frick did we give them regular sheets? These are unreadable by normal people, right? And I know the answer, because they don't want to have him play some weird light game. They don't want to have him play some weird variant of the game, because it's an admission that the game is too complex and too abstract, right? So they try to drag them through this thing, and they're like, well, Chris Perkins knows what he's doing. He's brilliant, right? Well, he'll get us through. So he tries, right? And he's like, okay, make a constitution check. Remember how I said you roll your bonus and not the base number? So that means it's going to be a +2. So you just, so I think he was talking to Dyer, Natalia Dyer. And he's like, so just make a constitution check. It's just a +2. And then you could see blood come out of his ears as he said, unless you have a constitution save modifier, right? And you could see Natalia just loses it. She's like, what do I roll? What do I add? Right? And he's like, and you could see Chris Perkins like, this sucks. This sucks. These people arrived, they're ready to play, they want to play, and we're telling them, go home. Don't pay attention. This isn't for you. This is only for accountants, math nerds, and puzzle solvers. This isn't for you. Leave, right? The real gatekeepers of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition are the rules. And guess what? We didn't even get to spellcasting. Spellcasting wasn't the issue. It was just a basic difficulty check, a basic skill check. And Chris Perkins had to Sherpa every single player through every roll. It was horrendous. And it was an absolutely horrible representation of what our game is, what it actually looks like, who it's for. We have got to strip this away and get it there so that normal people can play this game. Now, guess what? The work has already been done, right? It's Index Card RPG. Index Card RPG, it literally takes 5 minutes to make your character. 5 minutes, right? You get 6 points. You can add them to strength, dexterity, constitution, charisma, wisdom, intelligence, right? Or armor, or into your ultimate. That's it. It's or into your dice type. And it has 4 dice types. It has basic work, it has melee, it has magic, it has gun, and it has ultimate. Okay? And that's it. You get 6 points, you put them where you want, you pick your bioform, you pick your bioform, you pick your class, you pick one melee weapon, one range weapon, one piece of armor. You're ready to play, right? And then there's no skill checks, right? Every single attribute has 1 bonus, right? And in addition to that, you just play the game, and it's simple and it's pure and it's fun. It is not needlessly complex, needlessly abstract, and it doesn't have the rules of the game themselves telling people, go away. This isn't for you. If you are not a wonky math nerd, if you are not a puzzle solver, if you are not a dyed-in-the-wool complexity abstraction lover, you have no business here. And I'm telling you, if you watch that game, if you look at it with true eyes, you will see Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, as good as it is compared to the last few editions, it has major complexity issues remaining in the game for no other reason than tradition. And those traditions must die if we're going to bring in people who care about narrative, people who want to play and want to have fun, and don't just want to optimize builds. This has got to get fixed in Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition. I've said this a million times, but I'm just telling you, right? Go see it for yourself. Look how brutally difficult it is for Chris Perkins to drag every single player through the simplest difficulty checks and see it sucks. It has got to get fixed. The game has needless complexity, needless abstraction, and these two factors serve more as a gatekeeper than any grognard on Twitter, right? The grognards are not holding people back. It's the 750 pages of rules that are required to play this game, the needless complexity, and the bow-down nature we all have for tradition. We have got to kill these bugbears and get this game playable by real people. If you watch this and you are a true fan of the cultural catalyst that is Dungeons & Dragons, this will break your heart, right? Because I'm telling you right now, this was supposed to be showing people how much fun Dungeons & Dragons can be. It wasn't fun. That game showed that, like, one bad player can ruin a game, even if the best DM, one of the best DMs in the world is there, Chris Perkins. And it also showed if you are not a puzzle solver, if you don't love complexity and abstraction for the sake of complexity and abstraction, and if you are not a math nerd, you have no business near this game. And for Natalia Dyer, and for Gaten Matarazzo, Finn Wolfhard is a whole different reason. He wasn't there to play the game anyway. He was there for different reasons, right? And David Harbour, I think he actually tracked the whole thing. I think he understood what was happening. I think he may have played D&D before he came to this, right? So, but for those two players to have to sit through this and just get told by the rules, you have no business here, was just mind-bendingly sad and frustrating. We have got to fix these problems. We've got to make Dungeons & Dragons for real people, right? And we cannot allow build optimization and tradition to keep our game needlessly complex and needlessly abstract. And the reality is, the fix for all of this is that Brandish Gildenhelm should be the lead design for Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, or at least on the design team, and they should just make Index Card RPG the engine for 6e, be done with it. That will solve every problem. Or I really think that's where you got to go. It's really frustrating too when you see the problem so clearly and you know the solution exists, but the company can't bring themselves to apply it. It's just heartbreaking. That's my opinion. I know my opinion on this is strong. Am I wrong? What did you see something I missed? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.